Okay, so this is our real thoughts with the release of a particular game this week on Pokemon the first movie. I'm so excited to talk about this because everyone thinks I really hate Pokemon, and I don't really hate it. It's not like, there's things I legitimately hate. It just suddenly turned into like a thing online, and then all the fans got so insulted that I make fun of Pokemon. I'm like, I'm gonna have fun with this. And honestly, we were gonna do something else before this, but then you said someone's asking us to do Pokemon the first movie. I'm like, ooh, yes, let's do it.
I got a few requests online. People are like,
because
with
Pokemon
the game
Go
coming
is out.
what are your thoughts on like my favorites? And people are like, what do you think of the new Pokemon game? I'm like, what the hell would I have to say?
Yeah.
I'm not playing it.
What? Even people that love this stuff, what the hell can you say about this thing? It's like say, find a picture of a leaf. You go out in trees, there's a leaf. When I heard it, somebody described because I said, what is Pokemon Go? And this thing is everywhere. And it's like, you just go around on your phone and find these random little stickers and you take a picture of it and you collect them. I'm like, that can't be it. There has to be more. And it's like, no,
Remember
that's really
what my
about
reply
it.
was, though? Because I believe it was Tamara telling you that. We were all at a convention recently, and we were staying in one suite.
And everyone was talking about this game.
And she or Malcolm, I think they both were describing it. And you just looked at them with this blank stare, that's it? I was just like, spoken like a true asshole who never liked Pokemon to begin with.
And I don't like Pokemon, but I never hated it. And from a marketing standpoint, it's fucking ingenious. It's one of the most ingenious ideas in years.
I get the game. Like, I get the idea behind it, and I'm like...
Kind of like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, like, that's fine. I mean, I get it. I'm not gonna play it.
But okay, even for this sounds like something like Disney would throw out in its spare time. Find Cinderella's mice or something like that. There, and just put it in random places. But this is like a phenomenon. It's huge. And
this is literally what Nintendo has been doing for 20 years.
Just Pokemon, yeah, and Mario.
I don't know why you're surprised though. It was like something Disney would throw out in its spare time.
No, but nobody
welcome
would
to
care.
Nintendo's entire master plan.
Nobody would care if Disney, it'd be like a little game for kids that might get a few bucks of profit for them or something like that. But this is just all these phone companies now are hey, you want to play Pokemon Go better? Come here. I mean, they're trying to use it because they know it's such a big deal.
Well, okay, it's interactive and it's idiot-proof. Somebody was like, somebody
went like that.
It's interactive, it's pre-branded, and it's idiot-proof. Somebody was posting memes just apparently there's some other game that was in development for 6 years that has 5 times the number of features, and the meme says something like, yes, but it wasn't called Pokemon, and therefore more people aren't playing. And I'm like, yes!
Pretty much.
What are you, stupid? Of course that's how it works. It already came pre-branded. Everybody knows what Pokemon is, and somebody's like, but another game has 5 times the features. And I'm like, that's why kids won't be playing it. This, it's idiot-proof.
That's like when Paranormal Activity came out and people are like, there has never been a movie where you don't see the ghost. It's like, fuck you. It's been done millions of times and so much better, but this one just got really
there's
popular.
a reason this works, and it's because, and this has been Nintendo's strategy all along, and love or hate Nintendo or their strategy. For my money, I was kind of done with it after I became an adult, but it's always geared towards families. You get the families, look at little cute cartoon critters, and you take a picture with your phone, and then you trap it in a bowl, and then make them fight. It's like cockfighting with little cartoons for families.
So it's same thing, honestly, with the game, with everything Pokemon. I really don't care. I really say that more because the reaction from you guys are amazing. You just take it so personally, and I love it. Never stop. Please never stop.
The reality...
It brings me much joy.
The reality of it is our little cousins played Pokemon back in the late
so we knew a little
90s.
bit about
it. It was fun to hear them talk about it. It was actually really cute. They were so into it. So the only thing that bothered me, legitimately bothered me about Pokemon, and it still does, is, as you said, the ingenious marketing behind it, where literally the entire concept is gotta catch them all. I remember back in the late 90s when I heard that, I was like, wow, they're not even trying to hide it. They're literally just saying bye.
The film was called The First Movie.
Yeah, that is the only thing about Pokemon that legitimately bothers me, where it's like they couldn't even bother with the cynicism. Like, they couldn't even put up the pretense.
It's just like, Pokemon, buy us.
Yeah, that's kind of the only thing that legitimately bothered me about it. But... And it still, to a certain degree, does. Like, years later, I still have never really gotten over that. Just, gotta catch 'em all!
No, you gotta.
And it's in the fucking theme song, gotta catch 'em all!
But we grew up with marketing. We grew up with the Ninja Turtles.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that wish they had their design, their marketing.
Yeah, I'm not
just as big a
saying
sellout.
that the 80s and the early 90s didn't cynically market towards kids.
Yeah, or Transformers.
I'm just saying they put up the pretense of, they tried to at least pretend there was more to it than that. And with Pokemon, they just fucking gave up. They're like, why are we even pretending? You know what? Just say you gotta get them all, or else,
buy them all. Just say
you're a loser.
Yeah. So this movie comes out, and honestly, the only reason I reviewed is because everyone wanted me to review it, and I straight up admit I know almost nothing about Pokemon whatsoever.
So those of you that asked for him to review it, and who hated his review, be careful what you fucking wish for.
No, actually, the funny thing is, like, when I first did, because that was, like, I think the first review we did when we got ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com. It was our first one off of YouTube. So it was a huge hit. Actually, people loved it, but that's before the numbers got even as big as they are now.
The actual verbal or written reaction, though, was very... it was all over the map. And, like, those were my favorites. There was a handful of people who were just like, I wanted him to review this, and I'm disappointed that he didn't take the time to watch the series beginning to end to understand them. I'm like,
Isn't it still going?
That's gonna happen.
I think it's still going.
Is it? I don't
it might be. Everything in Japan is still going. It never stops. But, yeah, so this movie comes out.
It could be One Piece.
What I hear about it is that, it's for the most part, the dub is pretty close to the original until they get to the end where they throw in this half-ass bullshit message about not fighting, which...
Just hilarious, because that's what the whole series
No, which the Japanese would never do. I mean, they know the cash cow that
let's not bring up the war.
No.
Oh, okay.
The cash cow, that they need to keep fighting.
It was a long time ago. They were going through a phase.
They would never be that stupid, but then B, I guess, Americans are the people dubbing it were just like, well, we had a lot of bad stuff with Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles and everybody complaining about violence, so let's put in this anti-fighting message at the end that makes no sense and clearly didn't work because there's still a million Pokemons going out and doing this, and I'm a little curious
it's
what
a
the
yellow cartoon rat fighting, and this is what we need to fucking worry about? This country's so fucking stupid sometimes. It blows on Power Rangers. It's a bunch of freaking teenagers in Skittle-colored pajamas
my
fighting
favorite.
bad Halloween costumes. Oh, the violence.
No, my absolute favorite, if you watch the Animaniacs parody of Power Rangers, they do this brilliant satire because they do the little message at the end, what do we learn thing, and he's like, kids, violence is not cool. So the next time you want to jump inside a giant robot and fight a giant bug, just say, And it was just such a clever punch in the face to those idiots going like, violence, that's what's warping our kids.
What kills me is we lived through the 80s when ninja-ing became the big in thing, and when
ninjas and robots,
and when parents everywhere were worried that all of us were going to stab each other with real katana swords. Mm-hmm. It was ninjas and robots, and we survived that just fine, except in Britain, where I found out from a friend that apparently ninja-ing was outlawed or something.
Yeah,
apparently, they had an influx of ninjas.
It was Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Probably during World War II. And this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Hero Turtles, and I'm like, this is why Brexit happens.
So this bullshit ending is thrown in, but the rest is apparently with one or two, lines that obviously would not be in Japan, there's still Vikings around there, mostly in Minnesota. Har har.
That's awesome. They know what Minnesota Vikings are in Tokyo.
So this movie plays that clearly is just a part 29X of their story. Because we have no idea what Mewtwo is or Mew. We just know it's a big deal in this universe. And we just we watched this film.
That's all I got out of it is Mew is a big effing deal, but just kind of...
I actually got more of it out of the Smash Brothers game. I was actually like, whoa, Mewtwo's
actually, the funny thing is I knew what base knowledge I needed to know about Pokemon I picked up from the Smash Brothers game before we ever saw the fucking movie. Like, oh, there's Mewtwo. Okay, it's like, I know that character.
So, yeah, and when I saw it, because I remember being advertised, so I was kind of like, well, okay, maybe this will kind of help explain what these things are, where they come from. It's nothing. It just drops you right in the middle, and it's just like, go! And that's clearly the kind of movie it is. It's made for the kids that grew up with the show, and if you like the show, you'll probably like the movie fine. Though I hear even fans were kind of talking about that ending like, I just don't get that. I mean, it's like, I know the message, but how does any of this make sense?
I've been fighting these characters all my life. My life is a lie.
Yeah, it's very much like saying, Pokemon. It's kind of like saying if you were like playing with Ghostbusters as a kid, suddenly being like, you know what? They're dead.
Don't capture the ghosts.
No, they're dead. You should let them rest in peace and let them figure out their way. It's like, it's called Ghostbusters! What were we supposed to do?
I think we should release all the ghosts. Just get them in a program, a rehab center.
Why can't they heal? Why can't we just talk and heal? You know, it's like suddenly realizing all this stuff you've been doing is bullshit, but then be like, you know what, next episode they go back to busting ghosts again. And it's like, it makes no sense.
This is why our country is stupid. This is how we end up with Trump. This is it's dumb.
But the funny thing is, we still have to...
Just let me have some violence.
We have to give this movie a little bit of credit that it at least didn't do the Digimon movie thing where they just took parts from other Digimon movies, like from 3 different movies, and just threw it together as just like, movie, and like none of it connects. Like we think Pokemon doesn't explain much. This doesn't. That didn't explain a thing.
Was it Robotech that did that back in the day?
Yeah. So we have to say, well done, Pokemon, for at least having a somewhat coherent story. You have to watch this bajillion other shows to get it, but at least there's a beginning, middle, and
end. Or
end.
in the case of the original Nazca Valley of the Wind, which they changed to something like the Wind Warriors and released in the early '80s, and Miyazaki never wanted to release a fucking film here since then. Because of that, it took John Lasseter, like, I don't know, getting him drunk on a gallon of sake and a picture with him and an octopus or something like it before he's like, all right, I'll release more. Like it. So yeah, just release the damn thing. I mean, unless like Pokemon was really like chock full of hentai or something, I don't really know what the big deal would be.
Do you remember either?
And I'm sure there's a Pokemon hentai that exists, and I'm sure Brad Jones has found it. So
from the show and the movie, I, again, having seen very little of it, like actually sat down and watched it, is there anything that you actually remember, like, oh, that was kind of neat, or that's kind of fun, or that, I mean, like...
No.
The only thing I can remember, I remember the bad guys, I like the idea behind the bad guys, even though they almost never made me laugh, but sort of their voices were a little funny. I like the woman who sounds like this, I like the guy who sounds like this, and I like that little cat guy. It's like, if I was a kid, I would like that. I would like those 3. Everything else just seems like very bland, generic, not very interesting.
I literally do not remember a goddamn thing. I remember the intro was very exposition heavy to the point that I'm just like, why did they even bother? They could have just, because any kid who's gonna see this movie probably would have been watching the show. You could have just dumped them into it because the parents don't give a shit. I didn't give a shit. Yeah. Like, I was like, just tell your damn story. I don't need to. It's like, but then on this island, something happened, and then when it happened, like, I was just like, shut up, just get on with it. I remember there was like Pikachu took a good beating, and that was
from himself.
Yeah, that was very cathartic for me.
The tears of the Pokemon bringing back the boy, that was pretty funny. I mean, just to talk about half-ass, like a fairy tale just shits something out, and then the fumes went into some guy's nose, and he got this idea.
His tears after he sent this thing to its near death. How many times? Like.
No, it's the other way around. Yeah, no, you're right. Like, Pikachu should be like, I'm glad he's fucking dead. You know how he keeps me in a ball, and then, like, he has me fighting myself and stuff. I'm not even allowed to talk. I can just go Pika. I'm glad he's stoned. Glad he's stoned.
Somebody drank the Kool-Aid or his Stockholm Syndrome. I think this is a very abusive relationship when you get down to it. But, it seems to work for them. They put the fun back in dysfunction.
And there's something about, again, just from and I think this is because I grew up with, like, those marketing shows. Like, I like whenever a Pokemon is released and it says its name. Again, it's ingenious hammering in the name, but on top of it... No, and I realized I was a sucker for that because when the Transformers movie came out, the Michael Bay one, and when Megatron comes out, what's the first thing he says? I am Megatron. Now, that makes no sense. Why would he say that? But... I kind of got a chill because I'm like, ooh, that's just like the cartoon. Like he said that sometimes, and it's like there's something stupid and manipulative that I am Shia LaBeouf. There's something,
and then your heart sank.
There's something so dumb and manipulative about that I kind of get this childhood, like, you know, just eating. It's pure junk food, but sometimes junk food's okay. Sometimes candy's okay, no. And that really is what Pokemon is. I think it's fine, dumb little candy.
I don't judge it. You know, I mean, I joke. My friends and I have a saying, we do an anime night weekly, and friends don't let friends watch DBZ. But, you know, the thing is, there's plenty of people who like DBZ and love it, and I don't judge it. It's just not my thing, and Pokemon was not my thing. I was too old when it came. I was in college when it started.
I love the voice cast of DBZ, and that's not because I'm friends with most of them. That is a complete lie. It is only because I'm friends with most of them.
No, I like the voice cast too. I'm just the show, that type of show doesn't really grab me. And Pokemon as a type of anime that I even watched as a kid probably wouldn't have grabbed me, I don't think, even if I was the right age.
It probably would have grabbed me.
It might have grabbed me.
Dragon Ball wouldn't have, but no, anything
it might have
like
grabbed me just
creatures.
So I could survive school, because I get a feeling I would have had to have known what the hell this was.
I liked things with creative creatures, and there's nothing but these weird, strange-looking creatures, and you're supposed to catch them. I would actually love this as a kid. Honestly.
I get that. You know what?
And the fighting and stuff.
I get
and
the
it's a
distinct fucking impression. I would have been busy trying to just create my own new Pokemon. Like,
well, I'm sure you can.
Pokemon,
I mean, that's gotta be
actually
a
even
thing.
Bothering with.
If not, I think we have a sequel to Pokemon Go that we can make, because that's gotta be a thing. Creating your own Pokemon. Right. That'd be insane if they didn't think of that yet.
I will say this though. Booking a con right after the release of that game. Oh, that was insane. Everybody was coming in with, did you play Pokemon Go? Did you play Pokemon Go? Oh, wait, hold still. There's a Pikachu in your goatee. Oh, look, there's a Bulbasaur and John Rice Davidson sandwich. You guys wait here. I'll get your autograph later. I'll be right back. Hey, John! Don't move!
Yeah, there's apparently quite a few Squirtles or some shit on us when people are looking at us in line.
The Bulbasaur is in my pants.
So, this movie clearly we're not a fan of, but it is one of those times where you just had to acknowledge quite clearly it's not made for us. You know, this is junk food. It's pure junk food. It's badly made candy for kids, but we grew up with junk food. We grew up with badly made candy, and we totally get it. We make fun of it because we're adults, and it's so easy to make fun of, and the reaction from you guys is beautiful. They're beautiful reactions. Never stop with them. But in terms of our real thoughts on it, that's what it's called, real thoughts, we really don't give a shit. If you like it, great, you know.
And I'll be honest, like, one thing that did kind of bug me a bit about the film is just, you look at that versus something like, strangely enough, like the Chipmunk Adventure. I was like, I honestly thought the animation on Pokemon, even by anime standards, was kind of weak.
Yeah, it's it's pretty cheap.
And I'm like, if you're gonna do a movie, like, I would have wanted something more. And I know, and you know, so somebody tried to tell me, it's like, well, you know, anime has a lower frame rate. You know, and they're more focused
I've seen some
stills.
phenomenal.
Oh no, and they're more focused on stills, and it's not as heavy on the fluid. And I'm like, well, first they're talking to me like I had never seen an anime.
Yeah, first of all, he has an anime night.
I was just staring at this guy, like, and I'm just like, listen, I have seen a fuck ton of anime films. I've seen a fuck ton of anime, you know, television shows, you know, well into like, what, 250 now, maybe by my count. I'm sorry, it's not that great animation. I've seen worse, but it didn't look, you know, I don't know.
We've seen animes that have very simple styles, but are still very artistic.
Yeah, and there was nothing that really grabbed me about that. So even on a visual level, I was like, really? Like, I know it's weird to say this, but I expected more from Pokemon. Like, I was hoping, like, I'm like, okay, you get these frickin' critters fighting. I want it to look really cool, and I just kind of felt like, that
my
stuff happened.
My thought, in all honesty, is because we saw something similar with Ninja Turtles. That show was, and the toys and everything were just huge, gigantic. I mean,
I'm sure it was coughed out
No. Yeah, you couldn't get enough. The supply and demand was so insane that they're just like, push them out as fast as you can. We're not getting enough. And I'm sure with Pokemon it's the same thing. Like with the movie, everyone's just demanding a movie. It's like, get it out as fast as you can. So I get it, but the idea of saying like this is good animation, no, it's not.
Yeah, but you look at the recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies when they did the reboots, though. Like I was like, okay, well,
the movies are different.
Yeah, at least this is pretty. Like
no, I think for film, for some reason in America, when we do films, we really want them to be like. We really do want to step them up, and I'm sure like Pokemon the first movie like had a little bit better animation, compared to the show, but it's still essentially kind of the same. There's nothing wowing in it, and like we watched the Chipmunk Adventure again. We're just like, why is this animation so phenomenal? We have no idea, but it's incredible. It's incredible animation. And the Transformers the movie, the animated one, phenomenal animation. So it's one of those things like, and with the Ninja Turtles, same thing. Like when we do a film, we really want to throw a lot of money at it, and I think there is something to, at least what I've seen with like the Pokemon movie and. Actually, those 3 Digimon movies, I think if they just let them play on their own, actually the animation would have been decent. It probably would have been okay, especially by the time it came out. But yeah, I think with that Pokemon movie, it's just like, get it out as fast as you can. We can't contain this. We just can't. It's so
that's
insane.
Okay. That's what bothers me. Like legitimately, but when we talk about real thoughts, that's what legitimately bothers me about the film, is the cheapness of it. Like, what the fuck do we say about the plot? Okay, we made fun of the fact that the American version has them making up or whatever at the end, but really what comes out of the plot, it's like, I can't see, like, the fucking Chipmunk movie, this is like diamond smuggling, it makes no fucking sense. Stupid. Half the things we saw as kids make no sense, so I'm not gonna sit here and rip apart the plot, and it's like, so illogical. Pokemon fans can. Now, if you hate the movie on its own level as a Pokemon fan.
Yeah, you've earned that.
Yeah, feel free to speak up. Like, I couldn't tell you if this is a good plot or not by Pokemon
standards, yeah.
So I can't make fun of that, but I can say, I'm just like, when I look at something and it feels cheap, I do feel that's a bit of a ripoff. Because I'm just like, this was such a huge phenomenon that I'm like, well, at least you should get like something out of it. Like if I were an adult, I'd be like, well, like I am an animation fan. I see animated films as an adult, and if I somehow got stuck taking like my niece or nephew to that,
like Norm of the North or something like that, I'm a little pissed off.
Yeah, I'd be kind of pissed off. Like I wasn't expecting to know what the hell's going on here, but I thought it'd be a little better looking than this. Like, so yeah, that's my gripe with the.
Yeah,
movie,
so I mean, we clearly don't like it. It's not made for us, and we understand the need for junk food. A spoonful of sugar, all that nonsense.
Now, Pokemon Go,
classic game that will.
Actually, I will say this.
Actually, I was gonna say it may change the course of our lives, but for some it might. It's already kind of getting people in accidents and shit. It's finding dead bodies. Like it actually.
I will say this. It is a double-edged sword, but the one thing I do like about I'm people want to play it, go nuts. Like I'm not judging anybody who plays it. Like what I really like about it is that kids who normally would be inside playing a fucking video game are actually going outside.
I like that too.
In the sun, the day globe, which burns the skin but gives you precious vitamin D.
I have no idea how much energy it takes just to point your phone like this, but you're right. They are going outside.
They
have
to
travel.
Walk,
they still have to see the world through their phone, and that's stupid, but they're still seeing the world somehow. They're going outside.
That's the thing. It's a trick to get you to actually look at the world, only you're doing it through your phone.
Maybe the creator of Pokemon is like, what have I done? Just they're all staying inside, just playing this stupid game and watching our stupid shows, and they've forgotten what the day ball looks like, so maybe I can create something that can have them go outside, but they're still on a screen, technically, but we're tricking them into going outside.
Yeah,
Maybe this is like, in a strange way, kind of the most brilliant thing ever made. It's like Harry Potter tricking kids into reading. Maybe it's just tricking kids to going outside.
That part of it I like, because I do think we become kind of a vegetable nation.
Oh, yeah.
That ironically doesn't eat vegetables. I'm all for that. Like, there's some librarians who are saying, like, I don't know how the game works, but I guess they're, like, setting some Pokemon up in the library, and then they're just like,
clever.
Hey, when kids come in, like, with the Pokemon thing, like, they're literally, some libraries are, like, putting together, like, dossiers on the game so that you can talk to kids about it and get them to stay in the library longer.
Oh, that's kind of smart, yeah.
There's something kind of creepy. Hey, kids, I've got books.
But they're trying to...
No, I know.
They're trying to trick you with education. Yeah. You know what? Good for them. Good for them.
But of course, it is the dark side. Hey, kids, I've got Pokemon. Get your fat ass back here, piggly son of a bitch. Call me.
But no, that's a good example.
Yeah.
I like that people are utilizing
And on the dark side, there's now already stories about, like some idiot walks into the middle of the street, gets hit by a bus.
But you're an adult!
You know what?
They're adults!
You know what? And I'm not gonna lie, I call that natural selection.
Oh, wow. No, that is something where it's like, I
feel like in any generation, the idiots would get weeded out somehow. Like, even in medieval times, there was some moron who walked in front of the horse, because he was, playing, I don't know, Stone the Witch or something, like,
on his hand.
Stoner, anyway.
But
and then, like, some people have been reporting that it's getting a little too hyper competitive.
Yeah, like again, probably among the adults, but
I have no doubt. Like, when I see that, I'm like, watch, that is some 20-year-old asshole fanboy. It's always the case. That's why you can't have nice things. It's like geeks. It's so funny. We spend decades trying to get out from under the oppression of, like, jocks and shit. And now we're our own worst fucking enemy.
Yeah,
like, we fucking beat each other up over fucking Pokemon.
Yeah, it's
a vicious circle. Really makes you think.
I was gonna say it's the first. Well, our line I always like is the internet the only place where geeks and losers can be bullies.
There's some truth to that. It's like,
so that's, you get it with the movie. I mean, it's not our movie. It's not for us. If it's your thing, I really mean that. We don't hate it. I don't think it's the worst. I didn't think it caused violence among anybody.
Oh, God, no.
If anything, again, it's kind of like Ghostbusters, where it's like you're kind of chasing things and stuff. If anything, it's almost decreasing violence.
Even back in the day at its height, when I just hated Pokemon because it had oversaturated everything and was everywhere, my how things don't change. Even then, when parents were coming up with that argument, like, oh, this encourage violence, I sat there as like a 20-year-old and was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, shut the hell up.
Yeah, whoever pretends they're the Pokemon, they pretend they're the kid with the ball throwing the Pokemon. Oh, look at that, look at that. Again, that's why a lot of adults like, a lot of parents like Ghostbusters, because you're pretending to chase ghosts. You're not going against each other. You're not fighting each other.
Okay, and let's get something straight here.
In the few minutes that we have left.
Okay. Have you ever seen puppies playing, or cats, or dogs, or whatever? Roughhousing is just a natural part of life.
Well, it's because they played violent video games.
Yeah, it's because they watched Pokemon, obviously. Like, that is just part of fun, is wrestling and playing and pretending you're a Ghostbuster, or Pokemon, or a Ninja Turtle, and just, flinging around some cheap plastic sword or whatever, and just... That's just gonna happen. People were doing it with sticks in the Middle Ages. I'm sure they blame, back then, you could blame the violent Bible. Oh, it's all biblical. Blame the Bible for that one.
Yeah.
So, just, fuck that noise. I'm really angry today.
Pokemon brings that out in us. That's our thoughts. Like I said, not both a ton and not a ton that we have to say about it, but if you got the game, enjoy it. Please be safe. Do be safe with it, but go outside, please. Enjoy the sun. That's about it, and we'll just see you in the next one. Bye.
You need me, I need you.
Pikachu! That's how it goes, right?
Pokemon!